Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast.
Hope all is well. You're tuning into the AK Watch following OSHI Co, one of the many great anime that dropped this spring. And with me, the usual suspect. Talk to them, Daniel.
Greetings and salutations, good people. Back again for episode number 3 of the OSHI Co, AK Watch. And yeah, we're just here to enjoy and have a nice discussion about what went on in the episode. So hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, let's go straight into episode 3. I think the first thing that kind of stood out to me is my drastic kind of change in opinion on Kana as a character from beginning to end, which is definitely going to unfold as we discussed. But straight away when we're introduced back to her, she's that super nosy, really strong-minded, in your business, especially how she was kind of questioning Aqua. Well, not really questioning him, but just trying to understand where he's at, especially since the many years that has gone past since they have connected. But I understand why someone like her would need that kind of aspect to kind of thrive in the industry that she's in, especially how, because it's good for her to be like that, to be confident, to be straight to the point. It will serve her career well. But for me, initially, I was like, it was one of those kind of off-putting character traits when she becomes kind of, I wouldn't say overbearing, but that's what I want to say. What do you kind of think?
Well, this is just me speaking, putting the manga reader cap on just for like a hot sec. Kana's one of my favorite characters in the series, and this introduction, well, reintroduction I should say, is just another reason. It just reminded me of all those things that I like about her, that I enjoy about her character, the energy, the quirkiness, the expressions. I think this episode really showcased it of how the diverse range of emotions that she shows, and then just the interactions with Aqua, them two, their dynamic, the interactions. I'm just looking forward to seeing more, because you can tell, I think so far she's been the only one to kind of draw a little bit more out of from Aqua. You see him showing a bit more emotions. He's taken aback, doesn't really know how to deal with her. So yeah, Kana, really liked her this episode. I think she's great, and I think we got something a bit deeper with her. We've seen previously she was the child actor. Now you're seeing that it's not all it's not easy. Even when you have been getting experience from young, it's still, as you get older, things don't always come as easy. So I think that's another it's a good thing to discuss, because even in real life with child actors, they always have that difficulty trying to shed that child actor image when they're trying to I guess transition to being an adult and acting as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, definitely one thing I definitely appreciate about her is her maturity and her kind of change and development, and just being more self-aware of herself as a person and obviously as an actor. And that is definitely something that's kind of profound in the way she behaves and acts. And I do really enjoy how straightforward and to the point she is. It like you said, it brings out a different side of Aqua that we never get to see, because when she is around, it's the only moments when he's not really thinking about revenge, or he at least not even fully not thinking about it, but he kind of shifts away because he's kind of enamored or captured by her passion and her kind of her allure, her just a willingness to delve into her acting and to push other people in their acting to be great as much as she can. And she still has the aspect of just being an entertaining human being. Like when she called my guy a parasite, you're still you're still being a parasite, eating your mom's food and that. I was like, right, you didn't have to do him like that. He just, the director, he just keeps taking multiple L's, like in front of kids, and it's not fun. I saw the pain in his face. He wasn't happy. But in terms of like just what she's involved with, you can really see how nepotism and stuff like that is really at play in regards to where you kind of go in career or roles, because for her to be able to even get Aqua a role or position in that drama just off of one phone call is, even though the level might not be super high, it's still ridiculous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I think it's also a reminder that the industry is a lot about networking, about who you know, and knowing people is a way to get your leg up in the industry. So that's just another reminder of some of the advantages you have if you have a good network around you, especially when you're first starting.
Yeah, man, it's something that kind of carries you more than your talent. Talent's obviously important and key to getting admiration or great roles and being in a position where you can display yourself in like the best light. But initially, it's about how you're able to traverse that kind of environment and position yourself in the best way where your relationship kind of carry you. And it's kind of like what she kind of says later on, where she says the importance of communication, and is one of her developments. Like, she understood, I'm now in the position where just being a talented child actor is not good enough. I need to be someone who builds strong, communicates well, and builds and fosters strong relationships, so that people are kind of happy to be around me. And that's kind of what's key in it. It's like, when somebody's thinking about you for a role, so I know that person. We are really happy to work with them. And whether that's being in the backroom staff, the lighting, makeup, you don't be somebody who has a bad rep, which she kind of did when she was younger. But I'm happy to see that she's kind of growing away from that, which is always good. I think next is like on my mind, or in regards to like this episode, was just how entertaining seeing Aqua as a kid continues to be. Do you know when you get the mini flashbacks, just seeing the kid version of him being so like dark toned and doing like showcasing like stuff that only adults should do, that just like makes me laugh every time I see it. When I'm seeing my guy screwing the phones, trying to unlock the password, how many times, I don't know how he kept on going, but he's showing a level of dedication that is psychopathic. He's at a place, especially as a kid, that he kind of has not moved away from, even though it's somewhat entertaining to watch, especially when it's like the disparity between seeing a kid perform all of those kind of adult tasks. Like, how is man doing 45,000 plus attempts, bro?
510 attempts.
It's psychopathic. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's not normal. He's crazy. Let me not say. He's just very problematic. When I seen, it's just the way he didn't give up. That's probably the thing that unsettles me the most, because he said after what did he said after when you get it wrong, the phone locks for 30 seconds, and you just said he, after 45,000 attempts,
Jesus,
he managed to crack it. Do you understand? You see me, he's got more patience than me. I need that patience, bro, because if that was me, I would have given up after attempt, because 30 seconds, that builds up into like hours and then days. It took him 4 years to do this, He was doing this every day for 4 years. Yeah, man. That dedication, I don't know. He's a different individual. That's what I can say. He is truly someone else, bro.
4 years was the braziest thing I saw in that episode. When I saw 4 years, I said, the person who caused Ai's death is finished. You are absolutely finished. There's actually no hope for you. I could not pray because this guy.
I'm scared for them.
I'm in fear. I'm in fear. Bro was diligent. Man said no. Oh my days. And also, the thing I also want to say is that, bro, like, that phone is not. The phone company need to destroy all those phones, because if I get robbed and somebody can have 4 years to try and break into my phone, what hope do I have? But that's an issue.
Who's gonna do 4 years just to break into one phone? They'll probably just try and wipe it and sell it off. They're not gonna try it for that long. Most people.
I don't know what some of these people are on, but obviously Aqua is a special case. Aqua is definitely a special case. I feel like in this episode, Kana was giving me kind of Chica energy occasionally, just not even as in the Chaos Merchant, but just how energetic she is. And what cracks me up was when, do you know when she was trying to persuade Aqua to, what's it called, come and act in the role? And then she said, there's this guy, he's cute. And that's when Aqua replied, but obviously Aqua is on a different wavelength, because he already heard the name, was it Masuya Kuburagi? He already heard that, so he was
the director.
Legit. He was on a different wavelength. But she was like, rah, maybe he likes Amanda. Maybe he likes Amanda. And that was giving me Chica energy, because only Chica will stop putting 2 and 2 together like that. What do you think about the Sweet Day show, though?
I think it's a very important thing, you know, when you've got a book or a manga and you're trying to adapt it into a different medium. I know we're seeing it a bit off topic, but we've seen this with the Death Note movie, the Bleach movie, both awful. When you're trying to condense something that's so long into a serialized shorter form on TV, live action, and you know, it just doesn't work because of the agendas of the crew is not pure. They don't really care about the story. They're just using it to promote their models, and they don't care. And you saw the director's you saw the author's face.
She was finished
when she saw the set. She's like, oh, these guys, they're putting in original characters who wanted in the series. They're skipping pivotal moments in the story, and that's what happens when you try and put 14 volumes in 6 episodes. That it will never work, and you can't really tell it unless you get the author to be like, okay, if you're gonna do this, then you're gonna have to at least hit these key points for the story to make sense. But they don't care. It just shows that the industry is just very dirty, slimy, and I feel bad for the author.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way, man. Like the way she was looking, and she knew that there was nothing she can do to make this like any good, anything that kind of closely resembled what she had envisioned and what she had kind of produced. And it kind of makes me really like feel sorry for creators that like some of their visions are being misused. The characters and the stories that they created, obviously they have deep meaning to them and value, are being treated in a manner that's not reflective of, you know, what they wanted to see. And like that is a sad reality. I love Oshinoko because it really shows a lot of this in regards to like the true reality of the industry in multiple positions, whether it's been an idol, actor, a creator, writer, film director, like even the director, when he kind of was looking at Kana as a cheap way for him to get more views. That is crazy. That's a crazy outlook.
It's very slimy, but I understand why. But I just, you just feel, especially because when you like the character, it just hurts you even more because she just had that massive speech beforehand, but she's like, okay, I've been struggling, but now all this time of being cordial and helping to facilitate, limiting myself, it's all been worth it because I'm finally being recognized. And he's just like, nah, we don't care. We're just using her for publicity. Acting doesn't matter.
And it's sad that Aqua is always the person to hear these reality and these truths that kind of reaffirm his outlook. You know what I mean? He's out there listening to this and just like, yep, this is the truth. It's the reality of the world that we live in. And I'm just here to get what I need to get, because that's exactly what everybody else is doing. But he was perfect for the role, though. He was actually perfect. That's one thing I can't deny.
That's nasty. Perfect for a stalker,
bro.
I don't want that title, man.
He was perfect for it, and in his heart he knew. In his heart he knew. You see, at the end, bro, it's like, do you know what? Let me pattern up and let me just finish this. Let me just elevate this. I wish they showed it. I don't want to wait till next week to see how he's gonna elevate just sprinkle his psychotic manner and his reality. People think he's acting. He's just living his life.
I love how they're doing the shots where, when the star in his eye changes, when it gets like all elongated, dark. It's I have to say, yeah, once again, the show looks amazing. Honestly, it's just it's a dream. I think if they keep up this quality of art, I'll have nothing to complain about. And they're making the characters really expressive. They're jumping about, moving about. I think one of my favorite scenes was just early in the episode where, they're still in the school, and then you got Connor making those weird faces at Ruby, and Ruby's just ignoring her.
Yeah, I think it makes you kind of more attached to the characters when they're that expressive and, like vibrant and alive, and it feels like they're experiencing like real emotions that you're able to understand, and it's not just like mundane, basic expressions. And I love how you can really tell the distinct kind of character face movements. So everybody's face movement is so different. Like the way Kana moves is so different from the way Ruby or even their adoptive mum. Do you know what I mean? It's so individual, and that kind of just really like grasped you. It really makes you enjoy it more. I kind of also want to speak more about Kana. Like you kind of mentioned her speech. And that kind of goes to like the beginning when I was saying her growth. Her growth was actually incredible, and I'm actually proud of her as a person. She should be proud of herself. Everything, especially when we first saw her, just her perspective in life and the kind of individual she's grown to be. And it just kind of it's kind of like she's humble, but she's also has like the balance where she's also attacking life and knows what she brings to not only her industry but what she brings like to the world, which is like something that is hard to kind of balance, and it's impressive.
Definitely agree. I'll never shy away from praising Connor. I think, because it's always difficult to do things you don't like in order to, advance, whether it be in your career, education, or just in life. So I respect that, even though she realized that the way she was going, she would have to change. I respect that she was willing to do the work and, improve even when she wasn't really necessarily seeing the fruits of her labor. And I think one thing I wanted to just look at is just her current situation, because hopefully throughout the show, I need to stop saying hopefully, but like, because I know what's gonna happen, but I'm just trying to
I hear it.
I'm just trying to look at what with the information, because if you see her room, we just saw it for a brief second, she's just surrounded by like cans. It doesn't look like a great living environment. She mentioned her parents live in the countryside, so like it kind of shows that
crazy.
It's not a good living environment, and this kind of shows the dichotomy. She has like two faces, where the outward face where she's always trying to be confident, you know. And then like when she's by herself, you kind of see the true self, where she's more, a little bit more. You can tell it kind of gets to her, and she's not as confident as she might seem.
Well, so do you feel like, from what we've seen so far, it's kind of like a fake it till you make it kind of mentality, or maybe not to that degree, where she understands that she has to put on a strong front, because that's kind of what's going to progress her further quicker and get what she actually needs to be, or is it just a result of her environment where she kind of developed this mentality where it's like, be strong, don't show that side and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think when she's by herself, that's when she lets down all her barriers. But like when she's at work, she just tries to be like the best person to work with, because she realizes that people won't give her allowances just because she's a good actor. And I think that another point is, I just think it's really unfortunate that she has to not act as well, because everyone there is just poor at acting, and she doesn't care about her reputation as an actor. She only cares about making a good production, and I think that's important. But I think also, like, the craft, acting is, you know, your passion, and I feel like she's been suppressed acting on this show right now, because no one really cares about acting. They just care about promotion.
Yeah, this show is definitely not the best place for her to be in. Like, it has this demographic, which is just people who just want to see attractive people, and that's their viewership mainly. Mainly, obviously, the guys. But this is not a place where it's really allowing her to express her fullness in acting. And you've seen how passionate she is about acting, like how she was able to, when she was engaging with Aqua about what she observed in regards to his acting performance. That's incredible. Just being able to be that articulate and be able to observe and then comprehend, then regurgitate and tell and express that is like that speech when she was talking about the acting and everything and her knowledge, and you could just see she was in her element, and it was so beautiful. It's so inspiring to see somebody so passionate about their craft, wholeheartedly kind of pushing towards bettering themselves, and also seeing the best in others when they're doing their acting. So not putting down. Aqua's performance might not have been the best, but she was like, I saw like what you did, like, and I appreciate that, and I see the level that you're showcasing, and that's just like one of the favorite aspects of her, especially in this episode for me. Like, that was just outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you made about how she recognized the effort that Aqua put into acting, even though he doesn't rate himself as an actor. She sees that. She's like, oh, they don't care about acting, so they won't see. But I understand that there's these little things, these tells, these things that you do to enhance your performance, and I see that, and I just want to let you know. And that's another thing where you see the change in her character, where she really, you can tell she's got a passion for acting, and she respects people who put in the work to become good actors as well. So I think that's another reason why she was so strong on recruiting him, because she can tell that he is a good actor, and he actually respects what it means to be good at acting, and like how hard that is.
Yeah, for sure. It's a whole craft, and it's a craft that you need to continue to develop, and it's something that obviously we've seen. And not a lot of people are respecting the craft, and they're just respecting the fame and the monetary aspect of like the position and what that kind of garners. In regards to the episode as a whole, how did you feel? Like how was the episode for you, and how does it compare to the last two?
I think it was like I said last week, we're just slowly ramping up to the next peak. So what I'd say is, okay, actually I'm not going to say, because I don't want to spoil people, but we're working, we're going along, solid episode. Looked great. Voice acting on point. Really enjoying the voice acting. And story-wise, you see this progressed. Aqua's interacting with Arima, Anna, and we're seeing that he's about to do this rehearsal. And I think this episode was just a build-up to the big moment, which is obviously going to be the rehearsal and what Aqua's going to do in response to hearing about the director. Because technically, you don't really need to do anything more. Because like he got the cigarettes, he's about to do his DNA test, but you know he said he wants to go all out. So what does all out look like? So great episode, and you know they did a good job with the hook. We're ready. We're waiting for next week, next Wednesday. We're there.
Yeah, we're going to be eating. I know that the next episode is going to be crazy hype. I feel like sometimes you feel like Aqua just carrying the show. I'm not going to lie to you. And even as the series as a whole, sometimes you feel like Aqua just carrying the series, because there's something about him, like you know that he's a dangerous individual. Like he can just turn up in any aspects, like whenever he wants to. But likewise, I really enjoyed this episode. Stood out to me in regards to just further character development, introducing us further to Kana as a special character that we are happy to continue to like grow with and see how she develops. In regards to everything else, I'm just excited and ready for next week. Is there any last thoughts on your mind?
I guess just shout out to Ruby. She's doing her thing, and I hope to see more from her. We've seen Aqua. Let's see more Ruby soon.
That's calm. And the mom that stepped up. You know.
Yes, sir. Always. Big ups to Miyako, man.
That's a real one there. Oh, guys, really appreciate you listening to us. This is episode 3 of the AK Watch, OSHI no Co. Hope you guys really enjoyed. Keep interacting with us and be involved with everything we have going on the channel and on our Spotify and any other associated platform that we post on. Really appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.
Bye.
Love you.